If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, last season felt like a puzzle with the pieces constantly being forced in the wrong slots. And no one bore the brunt of that more than Auston Matthews. We all know Matthews is a generational goal scorer, a world-class shooter who can change a game in a single shift. But last year under Craig Berube, Matthews was deployed like a bottom six checking center, bogged down by a staggering amount of defensive responsibility. The result was obvious, a down year in production for Matthews and a stagnant ceiling for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Health wasn't his only concern, it was the way he was utilized. Today we're breaking down why new head coach Jim Hiller needs to make a fundamental shift in how he deploys number 34, and how GM John Chayka's new roster depth finally gives him the tools to do so. Let's get into it with another episode of Blake's Takes. Let's look at the raw data because it tells a wild story. Last year in just 60 games, Matthews took a heavy 972 faceoffs, winning a staggering 59.7% of them. That's elite faceoff capability. But look closer at where those draws happened. 66% of his total faceoffs were either taken in the neutral zone or the defensive zone. Specifically, he took 326 offensive zone draws, 301 neutral zone draws, and a whopping 345 defensive zone draws in just 60 games. We all know Auston Matthews is a great two-way player, but having him start in the defensive zone the majority of the face-offs is ridiculous. It's just not a recipe for success for an elite goal scorer if the Leafs want him to return to his former glory. To see how stark this contrast really was, let's look at his teammate John Tavares and how Craig Berube utilized him last year. Tavares took just 145 defensive zone faceoffs compared to a massive 639 in the offensive zone. Some of the most defensive sheltered starts in the league. Now look, it was smart to shelter a 35-year-old Tavares who occasionally lacks that top-tier separation speed, and it worked wonders. Tavares quietly put up a fantastic year with 31 goals and 71 points in 82 games. But if sheltering Tavares unlocks that kind of production, why weren't the Leafs doing the same for the best goal scorer on the planet? When you look at the rest of the league's top centers, Matthews' defensive load looks absurd. Matthews ranked 51st overall in defensive zones draws, surrounded by guys like Cody Glass at 52, Morgan Barron at 53, and former Leaf Nick Waugh at 55. Ranked just above him, elite company like Macklin Celebrini and Nick Suzuki, ranked 50th and 49th respectively, had the luxury of 536 faceoffs in the offensive zone, and for Suzuki, 637. Now remember, Matthews missed 22 games last year. If you extrapolate this number over a full 82-game schedule, he's pacing for 472 defensive zone faceoffs, which would rank 17th in the entire NHL. That would also work out to 446 neutral zone faceoffs and 411 offensive zone faceoffs, ranking 35th in the entire NHL. Those numbers over a full 82-game season place him alongside players like J.G. Compher, Jake Evans, Ryan Poehling, J.G. Pageau, and the outlier Joel Eriksson-Ek. That is not how you utilize a world-class sniper with his ability. Yes, last year Craig Berube had limited options behind the bench. The depth just wasn't there to insulate the top line. But under Jim Hiller, and with the roster reshaping executed by GM John Chayka, those excuses are long gone. Look at some of the new personnel injected into this lineup. Colton Sissons, a known defensive specialist who took 312 defensive zone draws last year while winning 56.5% of them, and crucially gives the Leafs a right-handed faceoff option they severely lacked last year. Nick Paul is ready to absorb heavy defensive responsibilities. The sometimes left winger, sometimes center, wins 53.9% of his draws. And Teddy Bluger, an energy checker who handles 176 defensive zone faceoffs in limited action last year, winning close to 50% of his draws. GM John Chayka didn't just add depth, he added specialized tools. These additions mean Jim Hiller doesn't have to lean on Matthews to put out fires in his own end every single shift. The blueprint for Jim Hiller is simple. Let Auston Matthews save his legs for the offensive zone, reduce his PK time till the last 20 seconds of a kill to reapply pressure when back at full strength. By letting Sissons, Paul, Bluger, Duhaime, Joshua, and other third, fourth liners do the heavy lifting in their own end, Matthews can preserve his energy for where he hurts the opponents the most, the offensive zone. If new head coach Jim Hiller makes these tactical tweaks and gets Matthews over 500 offensive zone starts over a full season, then we aren't just talking about a bounce-back year for the American Olympian. We're talking about Matthews entering the Rocket Richard conversation once again and dragging his team back to the playoffs. What do you think? Should Hiller completely shelter Matthews like Toronto did with Tavares last year? Or do you like him taking the tough minutes? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and thanks for watching.